Elon Musk, the life, the power, the Trump connection. Welcome to The Truth Travels, the channel where we follow power wherever it goes, uncover the alliances that shape nations, and bring you the stories that aren't afraid to ruffle a few feathers. The early life of Elon Musk. Before the rockets, before the electric cars, before the billions, there was simply a boy. A boy in South Africa, staring up at the night sky, wondering how far he could go. It's July 28, 1971. Pretoria, South Africa. The world does not yet know the name Elon Musk, but in a modest hospital room, Mae Musk cradles her newborn son. She is a Canadian-born model and dietitian, a woman of striking beauty and quiet resilience. Beside her is Elon Musk, a South African electromechanical engineer. He is intelligent, resourceful, and, as Elon would later describe, deeply complicated. From the beginning, Elon is different. Not the loudest child in the room, but perhaps the most curious. When other kids run outside, Elon sits in silence, absorbed in books far beyond his age. Encyclopedias, science fiction novels, technical manuals, anything with pages and knowledge inside. His mother would later remember moments where young Elon seemed to disappear into thought, completely unaware of the world around him. In fact, his parents once feared he might have a hearing problem. But the truth was, he was listening to something else, his own imagination. At the age of 12, that imagination turns into action. Elon creates his first video game, a simple space shooter called Blastar. He sells it to a magazine for $500, not bad for a kid who hasn't even finished middle school. But childhood in South Africa isn't all computers and quiet reading. The country is deep in the era of apartheid, a divided, turbulent time. Elon faces bullying at school, sometimes brutally so. One day, a group of boys throws him down a flight of stairs and beats him until he's unconscious. He wakes up in a hospital, his face swollen and unrecognizable. At home, life is no gentler. Musk's relationship with his father leaves deep emotional scars. Elon would later describe Elon Musk in interviews as a man capable of almost every evil thing you could think of. And yet, even in this environment, young Elon develops a kind of mental armor, the ability to endure pain, to push forward no matter the odds. By 17, Elon sees no future in South Africa. Military service under the apartheid government is mandatory, and he refuses to be part of it. Instead, he makes the first of many bold moves. He leaves, alone. He heads to Canada, using his mother's Canadian citizenship to secure a passport. Life there is not glamorous. Musk works odd jobs shoveling grain, cleaning boilers, anything to get by. But every step, every job, is a means to an end, the dream of reaching America. 2 years later, that dream comes true. Elon transfers to the University of Pennsylvania in the United States, studying both economics and physics. He rents a 10-bedroom house, not for comfort, but to throw parties that cover his rent. Even then, he's thinking strategically, seeing opportunities where others see problems. From Pretoria to Pennsylvania, Elon Musk has crossed continents. He has survived hardship, built his first small fortune, and planted himself in the very country that will one day know him as one of its most powerful and polarizing figures. But this is only the beginning. The boy who dreamed under the African stars is about to enter the game that will define him and change the world forever. Today, we take you inside the life of the richest man on Earth, Elon Musk. He is a man who builds rockets like other people build cars. He tweets world-changing statements before breakfast. He's been called a genius, a disruptor, a risk-taker, and sometimes a danger to himself. But there's a part of his story that has remained in the shadows, his high-stakes, unpredictable, and often volatile connection to former U.S. President Donald Trump. It's a tale that blends science fiction ambition with political theater, a journey from the dusty streets of Pretoria, South Africa, to the White House Situation Room. And it's a relationship that has swung between alliance and animosity, each move sending shockwaves through markets and governments alike. This is Elon Musk, the life, the power, the Trump connection. Elon Reeve Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa. From the beginning, he stood apart. His mother, Mae Musk, was a Canadian-born model and dietitian, glamorous, independent, and fiercely determined. His father, Elon Musk, was a South African electromechanical engineer with a brilliant mind and a complex personality. Elon's childhood was defined by books, computers, and an almost restless hunger for knowledge. While other kids were playing outside, Elon was often lost in the world of science fiction and engineering manuals. By the age of 12, he had created and sold his first video game, Blastar, to a computer magazine for about $500. It was a simple space shooter, but it was the first glimpse of the empire he would one day build. School, however, was not kind to him. He was small, introverted, and an easy target for bullies. One incident left him hospitalized after a group of boys threw him down a flight of stairs. The physical pain faded, but the emotional scar, the drive to prove himself, stayed. At 17, Elon made a decision that would alter his destiny. He left South Africa, not just to seek opportunity, but to avoid mandatory military service under apartheid. With a Canadian passport through his mother, he moved first to Ontario, Canada, enrolling at Queen's University. But this was just a stepping stone. 2 years later, he transferred to the University of Pennsylvania in the United States, earning degrees in both economics and physics, a combination that would prove lethal in the business world. On a warm evening in 2002, a man sat at his computer in El Segundo, California, searching for the cost of rockets. The numbers staring back at him were absurd tens, even hundreds of millions of dollars. Just to leave the Earth. That man was Elon Musk. And in that moment, a simple but audacious thought took hold. What if going to space could be cheap enough for humanity to actually become a spacefaring civilization? That idea became Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, SpaceX, a name that would one day echo through history. But the early days were far from glorious. Elon poured $100 million of his own money into the company. The mission? Build rockets from scratch, for a fraction of the traditional cost. The first rocket was Falcon 1, a slender, modest machine compared to NASA's giants. The first launch in 2006 failed. The second failed. The third also failed. With each explosion, SpaceX bled money, and the dream grew fainter. By 2008, they were down to their final chance. If the next rocket failed, it was over. On September 28, 2008, Falcon 1 roared to life and soared into orbit. Against all odds, SpaceX became the first privately funded company in history to put a liquid-fueled rocket into space. That moment changed everything. NASA took notice, awarding SpaceX contracts worth billions to supply the International Space Station. And Elon Musk? He was no longer just a tech entrepreneur. He was the man who'd cracked the code of spaceflight. From Falcon 1 came Falcon 9, then the mighty Falcon Heavy, and then the most ambitious rocket of all, Starship, a fully reusable vehicle designed to carry humans to Mars. SpaceX didn't just make rockets cheaper, they made them reusable landing boosters vertically, like something out of science fiction. They made space travel faster, more efficient, and suddenly, within reach. But for Elon Musk, this was never just about business. His vision is clear: ensure the survival of humanity by becoming a multi-planetary species. Because if we stay on Earth forever, one day, something will end us. From a rented warehouse in California to launching astronauts from American soil, from failure after failure to changing the way we look at the stars. SpaceX is proof of what happens when impossible dreams meet relentless determination. And if Musk is right, this is only the beginning. The next great chapter of human history might just be written on another world. In 2008, it all came down to one final launch. If the rocket failed, SpaceX was finished. But this time, Falcon 1 soared into orbit. Within weeks, NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to resupply the International Space Station. Musk's gamble had paid off barely. Tesla, too, began to turn the corner with the Model S, a sleek electric sedan that made EVs sexy for the first time. Investors took notice, customers lined up, and Elon Musk, the man who had been told he was crazy, was now a household name. Over the next decade, Musk's empire expanded. Solar City for clean energy, The Boring Company for underground transport, Neuralink for brain-computer interfaces, OpenAI for artificial intelligence research. But it wasn't just his companies that gave him power, it was his mastery of the modern megaphone. Twitter, now rebranded as X. With over 100 million followers, Musk could move stock prices, influence public opinion, and spark global debates with a single post. Some saw him as a free speech hero. Others saw him as reckless. But no one could deny Elon Musk had become more than a businessman. He was now a geopolitical player. The first formal meeting between Elon Musk and Donald Trump came in 2017, shortly after Trump's election victory. Musk was invited to serve on White House advisory councils, lending his expertise on manufacturing and infrastructure. It was an unlikely pairing, the brash New York real estate mogul turned president and the eccentric tech billionaire. But the honeymoon didn't last. When Trump announced the U.S. withdrawal from the Paris Climate Accord, Musk resigned from the councils in protest. For years, the two men maintained a cautious distance, occasionally praising each other, occasionally trading jabs. Then came 2024. Trump, running for a return to the White House, found in Musk a powerful ally. Musk donated hundreds of millions to Trump's campaign, making headlines and raising eyebrows. In exchange, Trump appointed him to lead a new initiative, the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, as Musk jokingly called it. The mission? Cut waste, modernize systems, and overhaul bureaucracy with technology. Elon Musk's journey offers a blueprint and a warning. In the 21st century, power doesn't just come from money or politics. It comes from the ability to command attention. Musk mastered it. But the same megaphone that builds you up can turn against you. Where does Elon Musk go from here? Mars is still on his mind. AI is still in his lab. And politics, whether he admits it or not, is still in his orbit. The Trump chapter may be closed, or it may simply be on pause. But one thing is certain. The story of Elon Musk is far from over. From the schoolyards of Pretoria to the launch pads of Cape Canaveral, from PayPal to political warfare. Elon Musk's story is a reminder that in our world, the line between innovation and power is razor thin. Here on The Truth Travels, we'll keep following those lines wherever they lead. Subscribe, share, and join us for the next journey. Because the truth always travels.